Hello, good morning. My name is Dr. Reyna. Thank you to Ignite Teachers Toolbox. And today we're going to be talking about different tools and different techniques that Ignite has developed and has come out, has brought together for you for today. But before we start, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and think of the moment when you decided to be an educator. I'm going to ask you to please play along, play, I'm sorry, play full out. And just for one moment, think of that moment when you decided to be an educator and what was the reason? What was the passion that you had? What was the dream? What was the one thing that made you decide to go into education? If you can please put it in the chat box so that I can have some reference, because I can't read your mind. Okay, so welcome. We're gonna go ahead and get started. So for today, we're gonna be talking about enhancing your message and improve understanding with the proper use of visual aids. We're gonna be talking about how to make every virtual classroom interactive, compelling, and productive. As we all know that student engagement is the degree of attention, curiosity, interest, optimism, and passion that the student shows when the teacher is teaching, right? You know this because in the classroom, you know when your students are engaged, you see them participating, you see them answering the questions, they're done, they bring their work forward, they're quiet, they're paying attention, they're not disturbing their classmates. And so you know that there's 5 levels of engagement. And so in the 5 levels of engagements, we have authentic engagement, which is what we want in every classroom. And then we have the rebellion engagement, where is the disengaged, the non-compliant, the defiant, and disturbs other people in their learning. Right now, a lot of our teachers are faced with a rebellion classroom or the rebellion level of engagement. And they are not disturbing others because they're by themselves in the class. But they are not engaged. They're either blocking their camera, they're putting you on mute, they are on mute, and they're not participating. They're just like sitting down, looking at you. They're like, okay, whatever happens, right? And so that's not what we want. That's not what we want. And this is a picture of the 3 categories of classrooms that I have seen in this process. We see ones that are like completely engaged, they're participating, they're showing their book, they're right there. The other one is they are compliant, they're doing what you tell them to do, but you're telling them, tell me yes or no, and then everything is yes. You know, it's like there is no thought behind it. And then there's this completely the off-track classroom, which is our teacher right here that has no control over the class. It's like completely given up. So how do we move students towards authentic engagement? And how do we increase student engagement? If you can please put in the chat box, how do we move students towards authentic engagement? And either now or in the classroom, whatever techniques you have used, I appreciate that. So that gives me a little bit of feedback of where you're coming from and what techniques have you been using. Okay, so this is a picture of our model student. Our model student has a computer, internet, has books, has pencils. It's ready to learn. But you see her right here, she is not learning. She is just like looking at her computer, wanting to learn, but the information is not coming in. She's just like looking at all the classmates and right. And so here we have the teacher on the other side. It's looking at this frustration on the other side and not being able to go across the street and talk to her students and communicate with her students. So yeah, so that's kind of where we are at, right? And so this is a picture of how our engaged students look like. This is one of our classrooms. At the end of the class, I'm going to ask you to give me some love. We take a picture and we see all of you participated. All of you are participating. All of you are happy because you receive some incentive. You receive some motivation. You want to be a part of this, right? So this is a picture of my teachers. So, okay. So now we move on. How does a teacher prepare his or her classroom for learning nowadays, right? And so our teachers are asking that question. So by communicating, but communication has evolved to a 2.0 communication. In the past, you were able to go through the classroom, walk through, clap, snap, hey, raise your voice. They can hear you, 1, 2, 3, crisscross applesauce, whatever techniques you use to communicate with your students to bring their attention back to you is not working anymore. You can scream all you want. The computer is off and they have you on mute. They can't hear you, right? So what are you gonna do? You can't go to their homes and unplug the computer. You can't go to their homes and remove the blockage so that you see them, right? So that's why now communication has evolved like 2.0. So now they have to see you, hear you, and they have to like touch you across the screen. And so that's a new awareness that we have come up with, that communication has evolved. And how do we prepare the classroom for learning? England has come out with 3 different techniques: through breathing, moving, and the use of visual aids. And so this is very simple, and we're gonna go over those 3 techniques and like a short version of the techniques. And we have more, we can show you more in depth, but we're gonna start with the first one. The first one is through breathing exercises, okay? And the breathing exercises is recommended to start in the beginning of the class. So in the beginning of the class, you are going to ask your students to use their fingers to breathe. They're gonna breathe in when they go into their hands and out when they go out of their hands. So they're gonna breathe in, out, in. As they continue to breathe, and in the beginning it's going to take you a while to a couple of minutes to teach them how to do the breathing, but then eventually they're going to do it on their own. As they are doing the breathing, you're going to ask them to please think of something nice, something that makes them smile, something that makes them happy. You can do the same thing. You can practice the exercise with me, continue doing your breathing, and think of something that makes you happy. Doesn't have to be anything related to work. It can be anything. It can be your kids, your dog, the sunshine, your vacation, anything that makes you. To me, I am eternally grateful for you being here with me. That makes me extremely happy. It's like you have no idea how happy it makes me. And then that's what I want you to think of, something that makes you happy, like Peter Pan, something that makes you fly. As they're thinking about that thing that makes them happy, you're going to outline what's the outcome for the day. You're going to tell them, today we're going to learn about addition and subtraction. I'm going to show you techniques, and by the end of today, all of you will know how to add and subtract. So for us today, I'm going to share with you the 3 different tools that we are using, which is breathing, movement, and the use of visual aids. By the end of the day today, I hope to ignite your imagination and your passion so that you can bring all the tools that you have inside of you out into the virtual experience. Okay, and so that's what we call breathing, priming finger breathing. And why? Because we are using our breathing and we are using our fingers. We're using 2 different senses to bring it into our class. And why breathing? There's multiple studies, but we're only going to focus on one that says that breathing boosts oxygen levels in the brain. The higher the oxygen levels in the brain, the better that you can focus and stay alert. And what do we want from our kids? We want our kids to be alert and focused, right? We want their attention on us. And so if they are lethargic, they're not going to be able to focus on anything. And you are on the computer on breakfast and anything. And so that's why we are priming their brain so they can focused. And once they are primed, they're focused on us. They're focused on education. I'm seeing here in the chat that a lot of you are passionate for learning. They want to develop, they want to train, they want to, they their passion, their passion for learning, sharing the knowledge, modernize the education system. So we have a lot of different passionate people. I see paragraphs in here. I'm going to be sharing all of this with you. So then another part of the movement is that movement encourages kinesthetic memory, supports balance, and movement supports literacy according to early childhood IE. So movement is essential for the development of the brain of the child. So children need movement to develop balance. And so one of the things that one of the teachers shared with us is that when they're using hand signals, they are able to communicate with the students without having the sound out. One of the problems that she was having is that she was having problems with too much noise, and it was giving her a headache, so then she couldn't deliver her message. And so what she did is she developed a background to her computer, and then she encourages her students to communicate with her through symbols. And so instead of talking and her hearing all the noises and the blenders going on and the vacuum cleaners, because their parents sometimes are not mindful that they are in class, right? Or they have multiple siblings and they're like screaming, crying, the dog is barking. And so all this noise was bothering the teacher. So she developed this tool. It's in the back. And then she's able to communicate with her students through the use of hands, which I love to use hands. So I love that idea. So I thought I'd share with you. So another way of using music to interact with children is to use music to condition their mood. Yes, we did the breathing exercises, we did the finger priming, but that's only gonna last for so long. Then we need to keep bringing their attention back to us. And so one of the ideas that we came up with is set up alarms every so often, so that when the alarm comes, when the sound comes, you put in this music, and that music triggers a movement. So you have a music that it's associated with jumping jacks. So when they hear this music, they know that they're supposed to be doing jumping jacks. Okay, and so then here's an example. So this music is associated with jumping jacks. This other music is associated with running in place. This other music is associated with clapping. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you when you hear the music, when you hear the first music, it's for jumping jacks. Second music is for running in place, and last music is for clapping or snapping, okay? And we're going to record this play, so that way I'm gonna record it in tile so I can see some of you moving and participating. Here we go. Okay. Jumping jacks. Okay. Everybody up, everybody up, everybody up. Okay. Running in place, running in place. 1 foot forward and run in place, run in place. Okay, woo-hoo. So that is the result. Yay, I'm so happy for all of you. Okay, come back to your seats. And this is the results that we want. It's only gonna take 30 seconds, a minute for you to have that alarm, but that breaks the pattern of your students. If your student is sluggish and is like, oh my gosh, when is this class gonna be over? I do not wanna be here. Having that music is like, okay, it's time to do my jumping jacks. And so they move, and that force them to breathe. Again, the oxygen back into their brain. So that force them to breathe. And so then this is the result that you're gonna be seeing. And you can just like sit and enjoy. You don't have to be doing the exercise with them. You just have to sit and enjoy that you are bringing them back to you so that you can teach what you are passionate about teaching. And it's you might have all this knowledge that you want to teach, you might have your outcome of what you want to teach, but if you are not engaging your student, none of that is going through. You are not teaching them what you want to, and you don't feel that reward, right? And so that's not something new to you. You are completely familiar with movement and with engagement. You require your students to stand up when they answer a question. You have requested for stand-up desk for the purpose of them standing. You ask them to bring their work when it's completed to you. You ask them to show their finished work. You already do all of these things in the classroom, but now it's the virtual learning era. And so that's where, we're presenting these different ideas to help you bring the students back to you. And when they are moving, when they're participating, your feedback, it's extremely important because there's nothing a student loves more than good feedback from their student, from their teacher. So if you see them moving, yay, James, yay, Carlos, yay, Emma, you're moving, woohoo, I love those moves. And that's going to give them a lot of feedback, and then they're gonna want to participate for you. Okay, and so that's where we are bringing them in. Now we are moving, we are talking, we are giving feedback. So we are utilizing our senses. And so then now you have the back, you can ask them the question, show them the question on your screen, and ask the question again. Like we said, communication has evolved to a 2.0. It's not just enough to ask the question. Now you have to ask it, they have to see it, they have to hear it, they have to see it again. And so then one way to communicate with our students is through the use of emojis, right? A lot of the platforms has emojis where they can answer yes, they can answer no, they can raise their hands and do all of that stuff. A lot of times we are not able to send the emojis or the communication devices that we want to send to our students. So what we can do is we can have our students go find something green, something red in their households. Okay, so I'm gonna give you 1 minute or a little bit less, whoever, I'm gonna see whenever everybody's back. Go find something red and something green in your house. Okay, let's go. Okay, I am back. Are you guys back? Okay, so I found my oils. I found red and I found green. Okay, so with that, we can now say, hey, okay, you can start asking questions and say, okay, green is for yes or true, and red is for no or false. And so then when you're asking your question, you don't have to see in the chat box for all the yes, 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 and see who didn't answer, right? You might know the names of all your students, and that's bravo for you, but like for a lot of teachers, like they don't know all the names, they're used to seeing them in the classroom, they're used to seeing them, they have to like go check in the box and stuff like that. But if you have them in the tile on your screen and you said, okay, answer this question, is this true or false? True. And if the answer is true, you see the green. Okay, all the greens are good. You see, answer the question, yes. So it's a quick view visual for you so you can move on to the questions while you have them engaged. And at the same time, because they are moving, because they're showing, they're trying to show the response, they are going to be able to engage. So they're not only are they answering the question in their head, they're also using their visual and their kinesthetic movement to answer the question. And when you answer the question in more than one ways, it's more likely that they will remember. And so that's super simple. Have them go find something red, something green in their home. I'm sure they will have something. Clothing, shoes. The other day I found chapstick. I have a red necklace, red earrings. So there's multiple things that they can find. Okay, and then that will make it easy for you on your eyes to see. And then also, it has been really helpful for a lot of teachers. So here's an idea. Another thing that a lot of the teachers found out is the social and emotional connection with the upper grades. A lot of the upper grades are at the homes by themselves. They're more self-conscious of their surroundings, how their house is showing where they live and how they live. So it's part of this growing, teenage era. So if you allow them to have backgrounds by group, like if you group them together to say, okay, so all of the teal ones are, you know, like this group, and all of the dark blues are this, and all of the browns and then grays are this. So now they belong to a group. They belong to a group that you made. They always have cliques at the school. They always are part of a group of some sort, right? And so then when they go to their different classrooms and periods, they see, oh, Carlos and Ariana is right there, and Kelly is part of my group. And so they feel part of a social group within their groups. And as they go to their different periods and classrooms, they identify with those people. When they go back to the school, when they go back to the actual school site, they will remember and they will have, oh, Carlos, Kelly, yes, you were in my class and here and there. So they will not lose that social connection. And that's very, very important for a lot of our students, as we know. And so this is just an example of how to set up the classrooms. We said the use of visual aids, and we gave you ideas of how these visual aids can be implemented, either printing them and sending them to our students if we have that capability, and if we don't, then just use some colors that they might have. Okay, so this is it for today. We only have these ideas for you. This is just the beginning. This is not the end. My passion is to bring and to share my ideas. I know that you have more ideas to share, and we keep asking the same questions: when, who, what, where, why, how. We can ask those questions in a group setting. We are going to be able to get all those answers back to us. That's why we have created a Facebook group for Teachers Ignite. It's a world-class face group that, frankly, to me, it's priceless, because you are able to obtain information and feedback from teachers all across the United States. In this group, you will be able to connect with a teaching community who have joined this community to make this world a better place. Everybody who is part of Ignite is committed to bring up their imagination, to bring up all the passion that they have inside them. And as I asked you in the beginning, why did you get into education? Why did you decide to be a teacher? And that's our constant reminder, is to bring up our passion, to bring out the reasons why. Not, we didn't get into this profession because of money or because of fame, but because we wanted to make a difference. And the reasons are different for everyone. And that's what I am passionate about, doing a live session with you so that I can help you discover and ignite that passion again. This is a group where you would get feedback, support, and guidance to help you accelerate your growth as an educator, and you will have the opportunity to help others along the way. And this is a formal and informal support group where you'll be able to share successes and failures and much more. I encourage you to join the Facebook group and start to participate and start to be a part of this community. Your voice is important to us. Use my blog to share your voice, your opinions. You are the voice our people want to hear. Speak up. Again, we are here if you want to get a hold of me. Dr.Reyna.com. Here's my phone number, here's my email. Feel free to reach out. I am available to go to your site to do individual sessions with you. If you need individual help, I'm here to serve. We are Ignite, and we hope that together we can make a better world. This is our team. You are my team. Thank you, and have a great day.